Hello everybody, my name is Madman. I'm a competitive Splatoon coach and analyst, and today I'm going to be talking about the Clawz 96 Scowl, because I've been thinking a lot about this weapon recently and how it can be pulled off, and how relevant it's going to be. First off, I'm going to just say, I'm gonna not be scripted for this video like I normally would do for something like this because I have to rush this video out. Between the time I'm recording this and the time that I'm gonna want to upload this video, I'm only gonna have like 3 hours or so of time I can actually work on this, and that's not enough for me to get a script ready for that. So I'm just gonna go into recon and show this weapon off a bit while I'm talking about it. So 96 is a really Slayer heavy weapon, but it's got cooler this time. So it's kind of really interesting to think about how it's gonna be played competitively, because cooler is normally a special that you want to spam, and 96 isn't necessarily a special spammer at all. It can get it relatively fast because it's 190p, but it's not necessarily doing the best at supporting your teammates outside of that. So I wouldn't call this thing a support at all. We got this cooler in 10 seconds, but that doesn't matter as much because when it comes down to it, let's look at the paint we put down. To get that, there's a bunch of spots and it would be really hard to fight using this paint. It has the painting range to get the coolers consistently. It has the points for special to get the cooler kind of quickly. I'm running a main and two, or a main and one sub of special charge here, so we got it a little bit quicker because of that. I think that you typically will be running special charge on this weapon, but not necessarily because it's a support. But this weapon is really good at fighting as a main, and it has dart, which can help it with fights enough, I guess. It's dart, so we can't be complimenting it too much, but it does combo. Main shot from 96 does 62 damage, and a dart does 40. So that combo is pretty decent, not breakable with a sub defense, and it also can help paint its feet as well, which you might think, oh, it's a shooter, it can just shoot its feet anyways. Yeah, it can, I guess. But this thing doesn't really paint its feet that much if we look at it. So just its strafe speed isn't the best at all. So going and looking like that, it's probably not quite as fast as using a dart, because the dart can paint a little bit more in front of it, and this weapon isn't the most mobile thing in the world. So while it can use this mobility, it is nice to have as an option. It's not that much better, but it's slightly better, so it can help in some situations where you're desperate to back up, and speed is everything in this game. I'm not gonna lay start that much though. For the most part, it's just you throw a dart at someone you want to fight and then you shoot them, or you shoot them and if they run away you dart them when they're escaping your range. That is typically what we're going to be doing with this. And I just want to say that this weapon kind of shits on weapon rolls when we think about it, because it wants to be a Slayer as a main and with dart, but then it has cooler. So everyone thinks of cooler weapons as just, oh yeah, how good can it spam cooler? If it can't spam cooler good, then it bad. Look at H3, look at Dynamo. Those things can't spam cooler. That's why they're bad. They're also bad for other reasons, but they also don't spam cooler, which is the big, oh no, that's why it's so shit. Yeah, I said a potty word. Anyways, I'm going to just say it right now. I think that 96 is a double cooler weapon, not because it can't get cooler on its own, but because pretty much this thing, if it's trying to get the amount of coolers that it needs to be the sole cooler weapon, then it is fucking itself. Yeah, I'm cursing now. So, okay, that's not the, I don't know why I tried to reset the paint in a recon. Okay, I may be cooked. But yeah, pretty much, this thing, if it's sitting back and just spamming cooler, I said this in my cooler video, but it's not doing anything that it wants to do. And like, this is a main issue because like, if like, this thing doesn't have enough paint to just be the support, it doesn't even do like chip damage that well with its team. It's mainly just like, it chips for itself to kill faster. But like, pretty much, this weapon, if it's being a support and sitting back, and you already have a support on your team, and you have an anchor on your team, then your one other Slayer buddy isn't going to actually have any help. They're going to just be alone, and that's gonna make it impossible to push anything at all. So like, really, you are just stopping yourself from moving forward until you get that cooler. And it's not like it's so worth it for that. Primarily, you want your 96 to be able to move forward, and then sometimes it can step back for a second, get cooler, and then continue fighting after the cooler. But really, like, it can only do that so well and because of double cooler, which isn't something that's really been talked about recently. It's been kind of irrelevant, but I think it's really good for this weapon specifically. Like, Tri-Slosher and V-Dapples are two weapons that I've been thinking about, like, cooler, well, double cooler, because they are aggressive and don't want to be, like, spamming it optimally. But at the same time, like, those weapons don't offer enough to actually be picked for that. Like, Tri-Slosher's nice and all, but like, when it comes down to like putting it with like, let's compare Tri-Slosher to a V-Slosh. We're getting a second cooler for our Tri-Slosher to run in a bit more. So pretty much it's just a Tri-Slosher with a bit more coolers versus a V-Slosh, which is more worth it. It's gonna be the V-Slosh because the V-Slosh actually has a special too. I know, mind-blowing. But like, there are some weapons that like, I think can pull it off in some niches. Like, we've seen like V-Dapples do it sometimes, not much recently, but it's been able to pull off double cooler, I believe, like, at some point. Entry actually did pull up with an area cup like a few months ago and win that with double cooler. And like, they're very niche because like they spec into something really weird. But like, I think that 96 might genuinely be the best double cooler option right now. And it's not just because, oh yeah, this one weapon was put into the game, but also because of another weapon that got put into the game too. That's gonna be the Winter Rapid Pro, because that weapon is being discussed right now, and like, it's not looking like it's gonna be meta, because it's not seeming like it's gonna be able to get enough cooler. It's 200p on a Rapid Pro. Comparing that to like Edit or Pencil, or even Zap. I don't like Zap, but like, we can compare it here. It's just like not getting that many coolers, and what it provides, its little aggression compared to it, is not 100% worth it. It's just like, gonna put that in the area of doesn't get enough coolers, therefore it is double cooler niche. I won't say that about H3 or Dynamo because they aren't even niche. They just don't work. Like, they don't have the aggression for double cooler anyways, like, I think. Or just the stats. Like, they're just kind of like cooked. That's all I can really say. But The new Rapid is actually like an aggressive anchor that works with your 96, like to keep up aggression while getting. Both of them don't have like extreme cooler spamming abilities, but when you put them together, they can get enough coolers to work out definitely well, and their aggression is definitely making use out of the coolers. So I think it is really worth it if we're putting a Winter Rapid with a 96. I think we can also like put a Winter Rapid with VDapple or Trenouveau. I think those also work, but I don't think they're quite as worth it as 96 because 96 just right now is the better main weapon at fighting what's meta. Because quite frankly, short range Slayers aren't that good right now because they just get killed by midline AoEs and S-Blast. Like, Stamper isn't an AoE weapon, but it also shits on them. So, yeah, pretty much, they're too short range to genuinely actually fight with the coolers. Because, like, if you're putting it against meta, it's just not going to hold up. Like, there's some niches, like, if you're going against a hyper short range comp, then you can go hyper short range. But at the same time, like, you don't really need it that badly. Like, you can still run the 96 into a short range comp and it will decimate it as badly, if not even worse. So yeah, I think 96 is going to be your premier double cooler option with the new Winter Rapid. And that's very nice. I know I wanted to say something else. What was I wanting to say? Oh, right. Okay. Also, because, like, weapon roles. The roles, you know, are like Slayer, Skirmisher, Support, and Anchor. But when it comes down to it, weapons are a lot more complicated and they don't just go like, oh yeah, 96 Slayer. Like, no, this thing, sometimes it will have to support. There's been a lot of videos that have talked about this, so I'm not going to go over it too much, but like pretty much this weapon proves that a lot of it's not 1000% a Slayer, and like, because it has cooler, but it is not a 1000% support also because it has cooler. Like, not like in a different tone of voice than I should have said, but like, people think, oh, this thing has cooler, it's a support. No, it's not. This thing slays. Put it as a Slayer. Just get another cooler option like the Rapid to like make up for its cooler output being a bit lower, and it'll be fine. This thing is actually worth it. Or I think it's worth it. I don't think it's gonna be meta. I think it's just gonna be fun, and I think it's gonna be like usable, definitely. At top level, I'm talking about, like, it's gonna be usable at top level, and like at any level, pretty much anything works. I don't think that this weapon is going to be popular at low levels. I don't think it's going to be good at low levels because this thing is difficult because you have to play double cooler with it to play it best, and cooler is already hard for low levels. Now put 2 of them. Yeah, now it's hard. Yeah. So don't. Unless you really, really, really want to. But yeah. This thing, like, when it comes down to it, I think pairing this thing with the Winter Rapid and pairing it with, like, End Splash or something that can shit out specials to make up for the fact that we have 2 coolers is going to be really nice. And I say End Splash specifically because, this comp doesn't really have the best, like, it doesn't have AoE with its 96, and its Rapid is going to probably be a bit too far back to deal with Crab a lot of the time. It may be able to do something to it sometimes, but not always. So, like, pretty much we need to have some sort of answer to Crab, because Crab's really popular and Neo Splash works for that. And also just, it provides, like, a solid entry special, like, a lot. And a lot of paint, which is what we need. Because if we're comparing this to a meta comp with Pen and Splash, as like both of those will be supporting, and we have a Rapid instead that will not be painting that much. So we are going to need extra help on the paint, which is why we're going to be picking Neo Splash instead of going like, oh yeah, instead of trying to fight the crab, we are the crab with V Splash. Because that's kind of what people have been doing, like. And Splash is really good at painting. That's his one niche, and this comp needs that. It just Neo Splash fits in perfectly with that, and I think that that's how it will work. The fourth weapon is just gonna be another Slayer, and it does not matter. I can see some flexibility in this comp, but I really think that that's like the only realistic way we are going to be seeing 96 being used at top level. I think it will 100% work at top level. I just think it needs the right tools for it, and I don't think the Western scene at all is going to like put the resources into that. I think JP might do something with this though. They might do something a little bit different. Like they might just not run a backline and run another one of the double cooler weapons like Entry V-Dapple, and then just like run it down. But like I don't know, putting it with V-Dapple would be risky because of no bombs, pretty much. But like we'll see. Like it's still really early on into new kits, so this is pretty much just like my impressions of it as of like 2 days after the kit launch. I've been thinking about this weapon a lot though, so I feel pretty comfortable in everything I'm saying about it. I'm not a 96 player myself, but I have like just fucked around with it a bit and kind of like tested its cooler output so I can see how it will work. I really think that this weapon is promising in the right conditions. I don't think the Western scene is going to touch it though. Really sadly. Anyways, that's it for me today. I had to make this one just really sloppily. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye.